Tucker Carlson and Piers Morgan debate on whether Great Britain actually won World War II.
Came in it.
Well, hang on, he wasn't Prime Minister.
No, I'm very aware.
Yeah.
I'm very aware. Look, I think Churchill was one of the smartest people, certainly one of the best writers ever to hold any office in any country. I think he was a wonderful artist. I think he had a kind of flair that's irresistible, particularly to Americans. I think Americans like Churchill much more than the Brits do. You kicked him out of office at the end of the war, so obviously.
But then we brought him back.
You brought him back. Here's my problem with Churchill. Again, the current state of Great Britain does not look to me like a country that won a war. It looks like a country that lost a war badly and was degraded. How did that happen? Why? You're not allowed to ask that because people are like, oh, that's Holocaust denial. I'm not Holocaust denial. That's one thing I would never deny. All these people got murdered. I'm not denying that at all. I'm talking about specifically Great Britain, the country of a lot of my ancestors, looks like it lost a war. How did that happen? I think it's a totally fair question. And anyone who says it's not a fair question is a liar. And I'm not going to be intimidated because I'm part English. So buzz off. What's the answer? And so I don't think that you can.
You can't put it on Churchill.
Well, I don't put it entirely on Churchill.
You can't put any of it on Churchill because
actually,
if you look at the 60s, you would say that Britain was absolutely roaring post-war, right? It's
not
only
really. Your manufacturing was dying.
Well,
you were rationing until the 50s. Like, how did this work?
Well, because we've just been in the World War.
I'm saying that's an awfully slow recovery for a winning nation. If you won, why did you have rationing for 10 years after? But here's the real problem, to be much more specific about Churchill, who is someone I really would love to have met. I think he's an extraordinary person and an incredibly charming person, the most charming. I don't know how you could say to the English people, it is essential that your sons go die to preserve the territorial integrity of Poland, and then hand Poland to Stalin, of all people. I don't know how you could be in an alliance with Stalin, the greatest mass murderer in history. I don't know how Roosevelt could be in an alliance with Stalin. Once you're in an alliance with Stalin, you lose all moral authority.
So what do you do about it?
You are not allowed to lecture me about anything if you're in a military alliance with Joseph Stalin.
Let me take you back then.
Who murdered all the
make you president.
Tens of millions of people.
All right, let me make you president of the United States at the time. What else do you do about Adolf Hitler, given that it was crystal clear his ambition was not going to stop with Poland? He wanted to wage a world war. He wanted to seize.
He wanted to invade the Soviet Union,
countries.
which he wanted to invade the Soviet Union. I'm very anti-Hitler. I've always been anti-Hitler. He killed a lot of people and who didn't deserve to die, and destroyed his country. So I'm certainly not defending Hitler. So preemptively to anyone who says I am.
Well, what would you have done about it?
Shut up. I would act as any president has a moral obligation to act in what he believes is the best interest of his country. Period. Not in the interests of humanity.